for Cavalier Between Games, featuring today's episode of The Life of the Umpire, followed by other Between Games entertainment. That's all leading up to Game 2 of today's Cavalier doubleheader.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff.
That's what white people think. You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
The Life of the Umpire.
From an ode to the umpire by Cliff Eastham. An umpire's life is not that fun, spending 4 hours in the dry hot sun, making calls that half dislike, telling rowdy managers to take a hike.
And now, today's episode of The Life of the Umpire.
Once again, we're at the Goat Coffee House on Water Street talking with Chippewa River League Director of Umpires, Teddy Joas. And this is the 5th episode in the series, The Life of the Umpire, where we will examine what it's like to be a baseball umpire in the CRBL or any other baseball league for that matter. Now, Teddy, in the past couple of years, there have been some significant changes to the rules of baseball, some of which apply to the CRBL and others not so much. Rules like the pitch clock, larger bases, restrictions as to the number of times that a pitcher can throw to a base to hold a runner on, pretty much don't apply to the CRBL. But maybe you can go through some of these rules with the fans so that we can better understand what's happening or not happening.
Sure, most of those that you mentioned there with the major leagues haven't trickled down yet. Truthfully, I was really not for a lot of those. Being, I got twin season tickets, so I go up there with my kids a lot in the cities. I was like, what are they doing to the game? Being kind of an older pastime guy, whatever you want to call it, and traditionalist. But I actually really like those in the major leagues. I think it allows for a much more paced game. But I learned from Coach Johnson years ago that it's not baseball that slows the game down. It's players and managers that slow the game down. The game's actually a pretty meant to be played at a pretty quick level and fast pace. But managers and players slow it down. But in regards to your question there, not to get too sidetracked here, is the only rule that's really trickled, or not probably the only, but one of them that's trickled down a little bit is from the major league level is in the WBA when they get to the playoffs, the challenge rule. And that's been discussed, but whether we bring that into the CRBL, I think there's multiple opinions on that, like most topics. I personally am in favor of it because in the WBA it's worked out pretty good. I think it limits some of the questions or the potential arguments. If a manager didn't like a call, instead of barking or yelling or getting aggressive from the dugout, they just come out and go, I want that challenged. Now, we don't have the benefit of instant replay, so we just come together as an umpire crew. In WBA, we usually have 3 or 4, but you discuss it and we decide, was there enough? Did someone miss something or see something different? If they did, we change it. If not, we just uphold it. So.
Okay, I was going to ask you how you can do that without instant replay, but I guess you get a few heads together and somebody's between the 2, 3, 4 of you, you're going to see the play.
Sure, yeah, it's all about angles, and sometimes a different umpire had a better angle than you, and you trust people you ump with, and go from there.
Now, some rules don't always trickle down, some trickle up.
Sure.
And one of those is the rule about the extra hitter. Some fans don't understand that.
Sure.
Any of that you can explain to us?
Yeah, we could spend probably a whole, probably a couple episodes on that alone. And there is confusion with that at times. And that, like you said, trickled up from the high school level. That was implemented by high school to help with some of the pitchers who historically are some of your best athletes and hitters also on the high school teams. So when they were done pitching, or if they
on their off days.
Correct, or if they didn't make it through the whole 7 innings, they hit the pitch count. That then they could still remain in the game without having to go to a position and throw and to help save their arm, so they could go from pitching to kind of just hitting type something like that. Now there's different variations of the extra hitter rule and things like that. So like I said, we could spend a whole couple podcasts probably on that rule and some of the confusion on that. But the idea of that rule is basically just to get an extra hitter into the game, which is different than the designated hitter.
Okay.
The extra hitter is just kind of assigned to hit, where the designated hitter is actually hitting for someone in the field. So.
Right, and that does not have to be the pitcher. A lot of people seem to think it has to be the pitcher.
Yeah.
And last year we had a couple times when the right fielder was DH for, and wasn't. I don't think the Cavs did that last year, but some of the other teams that we played had a position player being hit for, and the pitcher was in the batting order.
Yeah. I mean, most people assume just because, again, Major League Baseball, the designated hitter almost always, I guess, unless you're Shohei Ohtani, the pitcher.
And
usually,
he would be a good excuse for the extra hitter rule.
Sure. Yeah, he would. The designated hitter, I guess, is people always assume it's for the pitcher, but like you said, does not have to be.
Now, there's been a lot of discussion as to whether these changes are good for the game, and I know that for many people, change is hard.
Sure.
But let's get your opinion about some of these changes. Are they positive for the game?
Yeah, I mean, like I kind of mentioned earlier, going up to Twins games, with my kids, it's the major league rules I like, and I was initially against, but it's a much faster pace game, not allowing these batters to step out every pitch and adjust gloves and tap their cleats and then pitchers not walking around the mound and stuff. So I was kind of against it right away, but I think it's been really positive for the game, at least on the major league level.
Well, thank you, Teddy, for joining us on The Life of the Umpire, recorded at the Goat Coffee House on Water Street. We have more to talk about, and we'll get to that on our final episode of The Life of the Umpire. That episode will be between games during the next Cavalier doubleheader. I'm Rick Olson, inviting you to stay tuned. Game 2 of today's Cavalier doubleheader is coming right up.
This has been today's episode of The Life of the Umpire.
From Ode to the Ump by Barbara Gorlick. Watch him there behind the plate, the guy referred to as Blue. Hey Blue, you must be blind. How could you call that ball strike 2? He takes the ribbing all in stride. Been doing this for many years. Loves the game, the fans, the kids. Lots of fun, and yes, sometimes tears. Too soon the season will be over and done. But next year the kids will come to play. The ump will smile and call batter up. He'll be having fun, just like he is today.
Stay tuned. Coming up in just a few minutes will be Game 2 of today's doubleheader on NLWN-TV.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
You're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
You've been tuned to Cavalier between games. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Game 2 of today's Cavalier doubleheader.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Eau Claire Cavalier baseball is on the air.
Fly ball out into center field. It's hit hard. It's hit long, and it's gone! A home run for Cole Timer!
NLWN-TV proudly presents today's Eau Claire Cavalier games. Join us while we follow the Cavaliers as they battle their way through the Chippewa River Baseball League.
Fly ball out into right field. This one's tagged, and it's out of here! Into the fan deck, a 2-run home run by Gabe O'Brien.
And now, out to the ballpark for Eau Claire Cavalier baseball.
Welcome back to Casper Park. And Caden Erickson has just come up to the plate and popped out to short to start off Game 2. And Xavier Bemnister will step to the plate. And the first pitch is a called strike. Taking a look at the Lumberjacks out in the field. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Jack Bovey is behind the plate. Out at third base is Caleb Gardo. And there's a pitch just missed outside. At shortstop is Jake Varsho. At second base is Matt Martineau. At first base is Grady Frederick. And that pitch is fouled away. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Xavier Bemnister. The outfield is Freed, CJ Varsho, and Blake Tripler going from left to right.
Now batting, number 11, Brayton Tillman.
So Bemnister goes down on strikes and brings up Brayton Tillman. Tillman went 2 for 4 in Game 1. All of a sudden, Game 2 caught up to us before we were expecting it. High pop-up in the infield, coming over and making the catch is Caleb Gardo. And the Cavs go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We played a half inning, and the Cavs 0. Lumberjacks coming to bat on NLWN-TV.
Menominee Eye and Optical can help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comro provide comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract or LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, and so much more. In addition, Menominee Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eyewear for the best value. That's Menominee Eye and Optical, 520 Wilson Avenue in Menominee, where they specialize in quality personalized care for you and your family.
Hi. I'm your retirement fear. But don't be scared. You're still in pre-retirement.
Does that mean I have more time to plan?
Precisely. Here, this is pretirement.org.
Retirement savings options? Potential tax breaks.
Move.
This isn't scary. I'm doing it.
You got this.
Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan.
We're heading into the bottom of the first inning. Due up for the Lumberjacks. We have Jack Bovey, then CJ Varsho, and then Jake Varsho. They'll be followed by, since we didn't have a chance to go through the starting lineups, Caleb Gardo, then Tyson Lucas, Preston Alger, Blake Tripler, Matt Martineau, Grady Frederick, and R.J. Freed. And on the mound for the Lumberjacks is Tyson Lucas. For the Cavaliers, defensively, we have behind the plate is Sam Knickerbocker, Xavier Bemnister's at third, Caden Erickson at short, Cody Dayton is at second, Carson Windeshausen is at first. The outfield is Tillman, Palmer, and Kroll in this game. So that's going from left to right. Cooper Dykes on the mound. Dykes has a record of 3-0 with a 2.70 earned run average, and stepping to the plate is Jack Bovey. And the first pitch is outside for a ball. Bovey went 0 for 3 in game 1. And the pitch. And that was a strike. And that pitch missed low. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. No ball, or 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. That's high and away, and the count goes full to Jack Bovey. Swing and a miss. Strike 3.
Now batting. Number 7, CJ Varsho.
So CJ Varsho steps to the plate. Varsho went 0 for 3. And the pitch. Ground ball over to second. Dayton picks it up, flips to first. They got him.
Now batting.
So that's going to bring up Jake Varsho. And Jake Varsho went 0 for 3 as well in game 1. Breaks into his motion and delivers. That's a little low for a ball. And the pitch. There's a strike called. And the pitch. That missed outside. 2 balls, 1 strike with 2 down. 2-1 pitch. Fly ball out into center field, falls in for a base hit. Varsho rounds first and holds there.
Now batting. Number 0, Caleb.
It's going to bring up Caleb Gardo. Gardo also went 0 for 3.